Quaker Grits is $20 million a year off black folks. Quaker Grits. Can I have your grit money for 1 year? Give me your grit money for 1 year. Give me your grits. Give me your Quaker Grits. No more grits for 1 year. Can we sacrifice our grits for 1 year? Can we sacrifice the grits? If you give me the grits, $19 million on Quaker Grits. $19 million on Quaker Grits, black folk, if you give me your Quaker Grits. Give me your grit money. Give me your grits. We spend $19 million a year on grits, and we spending $19 million on
what? Kiss my grand!
You're in that hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
I done stumbled up on this channel with the King of Cap. They got a gang of them. We're going to go through and react to quite a few of them. Anyone that's in any way, to any degree relevant to us in hip-hop. Fat Joe is next on the list. I think, I'm not sure if it's the same channel, but I did one called The Lil Wayne Hoax. I'm not sure if it's the same channel or not, but we did one on the game, reacted to that one, and now it's Fat Joe term. So with no further ado, let's see what Fat Joe, the King of Cap, has been up to.
In the history of hip-hop, one of the biggest artists to emerge from the Hispanic community without a doubt gots to be Fat Joe. From his early days of running with Big L and digging in the crates, to introducing the world to one of the greatest lyricists of all time, Big Pun, to Grammys and other awards. What happens when one feels their own accomplishments aren't enough, and they become prone to embellishing truths, to flat out being accused of making up stories?
Where he's out there talking, and you let us liar talk. You know what a liar's gonna do.
See, Fat Joe get a lot of slack, bro.
Hey, Fat Joe, can you tell us a story? So this one time I'm in the Bronx.
Here lies the tales of the rapper Fat Joe, who has placed himself on Mount Rushmore of rappers with the most questionable stories, classic stories.
He would wake up and be like, pass me the book. And he would have a whole song. He would write it in his sleep.
Lazy stories.
By the way, I was born in the hospital in the Bronx when Larry Davis shot them cops right across the street. I had an army since I was in kindergarten, bro. Fat Joe, I'm telling you.
And scary stories that seem like they came straight from a campfire.
I'm probably the only rapper from New York that had physical beef with the West Coast. Right, there's a true story. My babysitters.
I would love to hear an account of some of that physical beef.
Made up the, let me hear you say, ho.
These are the not so true stories of Fat Joe. In 2025, if you are an older rapper past your prime trying to stir up controversy, who would be the best target? That's easy. Why not characters bigger than life that are not here to say, "You lie! You lie!" Of course, Tupac and Biggie.
I was really, really offended how Tupac and everybody was like, really disrespected New York.
Before we go too far in this video, please do me one small favor and apply pressure to that subscribe button. Yes, apply pressure to that subscribe button. Similar to Snoop Dogg, sometimes it can be hard to denote whether these Tupac stories.
Was that the homie? Was that a hairstyle? Did he have like a comb in his hair or something? Damn.
Are authentic. Being, of course, Tupac is no longer here. Fat Joe would do exactly that by once implying he pretty much is one of the reasons Tupac was kept safe in jail.
Tupac's in jail in New York, upstate, like an hour. So the Spanish guys, the Puerto Ricans, start trying to put pressure on Tupac. And they, you know, yo, you got beef for Fat Joe, Bobby? Yo, it's this, you know, and it was really strong where he was at. And he gets on the phone and he says, yo, I don't got a problem with you. Like, you know, this ain't got nothing to do with you, this and this and that. But you know, these Spanish niggas, they think I got a problem with you. They putting crazy pressure on me, you know. So I had to send a kite and let all the Latinos know, and they're like, yo, I ain't got no beef with Tupac like that. I just said that, he's cool. And then they wind up, you know, being allies.
Napoleon, a member of the Outlaws, would address this, and it sounded like he did not want to upset Fat Joe, but everything wasn't adding up.
People got to understand what Fat Joe said, because I was there. I heard it out of Pac's mouth saying that Fat Joe Peoples held me down. So people got to realize what held me down mean. Held me down mean looking out. You know what I mean? Like, so for example, if somebody just say, here go something to drink, he held me down. I was thirsty. Here goes some money in my pocket. He held me down when I ain't had nothing in my pocket. So he never said that his people protected him. From what I know, I don't know if he said in the interview that I didn't see, but
No Tupac cousin came out and said that was Bush. But when I was reacting to that, people was in my comments saying Napoleon said it was true. I'm so glad to hear he didn't confirm that bullshit. Oh, my mama.
what Pac told us is that his people held me down. So Pac never said that his people protected him. See, Fat Joe get a lot of slack, bro. I don't recall Pac ever saying he had an issue with with anyone in prison.
Now, this is another famous saying that Fat Joe had about legendary Tupac. But once again, it's just another story, a part of a long list of things that Fat Joe has said that there's always somebody around to say,
You're lying! So shout out to Joe. I don't have nothing against him. I like him as an artist. I think he's dope, he's thorough. But I have to disagree with something that he's been saying on podcasts about Pac calling him about some Puerto Ricans putting pressure on him in Clinton.
Tupac's cousin would come out and be more precise, stating this was far from the case.
The reason why I'm questioning that is because I know how the Puerto Ricans roll in prison. But as far as Tupac being in prison and having to call Joe to keep the Puerto Ricans off his back because they think that he got beef with Joe in the street or some, I don't know about that. A lot of people who run the prisons in the New York State penal system are people that we know.
Of course, the stories don't stop there. This would definitely be a question that people had to ask, is how did Thug, Bone, and Harmony do a song with Tupac? Because Tupac didn't like people using that word thug.
I mean, yeah, it was some words said about Pac on the box before about who is these dudes claiming thugs and all of that, you know what I'm saying? You know how he was, a little hot-headed, and then, but once we all seen each other and face-to-face with it, it got squashed real quick.
But this led to the bigger question of how did they become one of the only folks to have a collab with both Tupac and Biggie in the midst of one of hip-hop's biggest wars? And that,
I'ma guess easy, motherfucking E. That's just a guess, though. I don't know.
is where Fat Joe came in.
They the first guys I ever seen to get that big. And you know, Big had asked me to plug them in with him to do Bone and Biggie. And so, you know, because they was cool with Tupac, they were like trying to play, you know, and so I had to convince them like, yo, I need y'all to do this for Big. And because I know y'all were hesitant at first because y'all was like, yo, we know Pac, you know, we work with Pac. And I went in on y'all and I was like, yo, this ain't no beef, this ain't no nothing. Y'all need to get with Big. And y'all did it. And boy, ain't y'all happy y'all did the Bone and Biggie?
Man, that's a time this people.
Fat Joe's interpretation of being the one that linked up Biggie and Thug Bone was without context, not knowing that Thug Bone and Harmony already had an experience with Biggie.
Notorious Thugs came about, from my recollection, was Steve Lobel called me and told me that Biggie wanted to do a song with us. He said he talked to Puffy and Biggie wanted to do a song with us. You know what I'm saying? And we was...
Yeah, Tupac probably was right. Y'all shouldn't have been claiming Thug if y'all wasn't gonna check him and correct him right on the spot. How you gonna sit there and let him tell y'all the bunk story about your experience right to your face? You supposed to be like, nah, homie, Steve Lobel, wooty wooty wop wop woo.
Like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Right off the gate. So all that, whatever, let me clear that one rumor up that said we turned down Biggie Smalls and all. Man, we had never turned down Biggie Smalls. That was our friend.
Well, no, I never had any reservations, or I never had any reluctancy of doing a song with Big or Pop. You know, I think where that came in was, I think Busy had some type of felt some kind of way about doing the Biggie song because we had done the Tupac song. And, you know, and I think, you know, Fat Joe did, you know, like convince Busy, like, yo, you know, like you need to go ahead and get on the song, you know what I'm saying? Like Fat Joe did do that, but I was gonna rock regardless.
When we had it,
Okay, so he didn't just bring the story out his ass. There's some embellishment or just it's being told not quite correctly, I guess.
Issue back in New York a few years earlier, he helped us out of a sticky situation. So we already had a report. Him and Wish had a conversation, and that got us about some things.
Why just leave Biggie Tales to one measly story about introducing them to Bone when you can do even better? Why not tell everybody about this album you had with one of the most coveted rappers of all time, whose verse on any track after he died would be worth millions?
He made a bunch of songs, you know what I'm saying? But they was like really disrespectful and hateful, and so he died and Tupac died, and it was like, yo, bro, you know what I mean? So
what happened to the album? Of course, they must have destroyed it.
They might have burnt them shits, to be honest with you. Because, you know, it was distasteful, you know what I'm saying, after the fact.
And how many songs did you guys do?
I don't know, but a couple. Not maybe 8 songs, 10 songs, you know, like that.
Now, I know a lot of you have heard about this story between some mysterious Fat Joe and Biggie album. I know I've had a lot of questions about it. Turns out, I'm not the only one that had questions if this album has ever existed.
Oh, that's like a wick, huh? Yeah, I think that's a wick. Oh, mama.
You see all the stories he tells? You see the Biggie story he's talking about? That he did an album, he did an album with Biggie. Yeah, that he did an album with Biggie. That's straight lie.
Cuban Links would have an interesting theory on why Fat Joe would lie about an entire Biggie album. The FBA.
He wants to put himself with the elites. He wants to be a tether. Isn't that what they say? The FBA says a tether. He wants to latch on to the legacy of Biggie now. He wants to latch on to the Biggie legacy.
So they trying to change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity doop wop. This, that, yo, bro.
This moment right here that I'm talking about, it really marks the true downfall of Fat Joe, because this.
I bet you he gonna pull up the clip or his daddy. We start talking about his daddy saying blacks started hip hop and it wasn't a Latino in sight. It gotta be that clip.
This is when people really started to pay attention. When Fat Joe went on this rant about how hip hop was created 50-50 between Latinos and blacks.
My babysitters made up the, let me hear you say, ho, it's 2 girls.
I bet you bet not say they not black. That's got some of the most black swag. Oh, you can see how the females, black girls roll their neck. That all go with that. If you don't knock it off.
Twins used to babysit.
This would lead to one of the most divisive conversations of last year.
Is that you a guest in hip hop? Something that I think Fat Joe even be forgetting sometimes, and that's why niggas be trying to remind him. I don't always agree with everything that Tariq Nasheed say, but situations like this, I
Hassandra Cambada. If y'all don't know, that's her name.
understand.
But part of the biggest blunder on Fat Joe's side, when he went on Math Hoffa's podcast and made a huge mistake of basically saying, all you niggas is broke.
We got a fucking Looney Tune, like your man Lord Jamal, who's a fucking Looney Tune.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's a loony bin. What I'm trying to tell you is that this opinion comes from a tribe.
Right.
It comes from a group of people that hate everybody but them. You know, there's radical Jews, there's radical Catholics, there's radical Puerto Ricans.
Right.
There's radical anything. If you do enough of that shit, enough of in-house racism, you wind up looking at the world fucked up. And we can't even move around.
Right.
You understand? So that's how this shit come about. These guys don't like nobody but them. It's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican.
Tariq show move around, be everywhere. I'm FBA. I move around, be everywhere. I know a lot of my FBA brothers be, hey, what do you mean don't move around? You don't knock it off.
Don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them.
Right.
Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't black American.
Who are these guys?
You want me to say their name? We're going to give them too much clout.
I mean,
the FBA, Foundation.
Imagine you giving the people clout who culture you've been leeching off of your entire career. That is crazy. Uneducated fool shall speak and expose his foolishness.
Black authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is. You see this nigga who run them? Like, you know, your leader?
This whole debacle would lead to not only Lord Jamar replying, but Tariq Nasheed not only disagreeing with Fat Joe, but turning him into an enemy of an entire culture. It just happened to be the culture that got Fat Joe where he is today.
On Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion, basically he wasn't happy with part of the foundational Black Americans. He attacked foundational Black Americans. He attacked me.
There's no small group of anything. There's 43 million foundational Black Americans, and they kind of feel a certain way about the actions of a white Latino who's running around here trying to pull rank among Black people. After you've been eating on foundational Black American culture for this long. This is why they keep trying to crowbar.
He just remixed what I said. That's crazy.
This thing where they created hip hop 50-50 so they can't look like they're leeching off of foundational Black American culture. And again, they're still upset over the film Microphone Check. The movie Microphone Check shut down a lot of those lies.
All these people who have been ingratiated by hip-hop, is that if you took it back to your so-called roots or to your motherland or whatever the case may be and asked them to support you, you would not be where you are today.
And just Fat Joe sitting up there, a white Latino using the N-word over and over again, and he's in a room full of Caribbeans. Our brother Math Hoffa, he's Caribbean. From what I understand, many of the other gentlemen in the room were Caribbean, and a lot of people felt a certain way about that too.
Soon, doctored videos of Fat Joe getting booed begin to appear, because lies attract more lies.
You're lying!
But something interesting would happen. This particular time, instead of someone else coming to say that Fat Joe didn't know what he was talking about, Fat Joe kind of did this on his own.
Particularly people from the Bronx, particularly the people who were the pioneers, who were there at the beginning, who told the truth about the beginning of hip hop, and it was not 50-50. It wasn't 50-50. Now we got to understand Fat Joe. People have accused him of being a pathological liar.
I had a Cuban father. He was telling me the plain truth. He was like, you're not going to make it. Have you seen any Spanish guys make it in this shit? You're done. So my father actually saw hip hop born. He was like, there's no other Spanish people doing this, Papi. Like, you have no chance.
Fat Joe, a consistent host of the BET Awards, would make an unexpected announcement.
The BET Hip Hop Awards for third consecutive year.
You know, thank you. I resigned as host of the BET Hip Hop Awards.
From this moment on, a microscope was placed on Fat Joe, and every story he told in the past, one of the most criticized ones, has got to be the gym story.
What were you like in high school?
Terrible. The biggest bully. I once robbed my whole gym, the whole gym.
Like
70 kids
robbed them?
without a gun. Like, yo, everybody give me your coats, give me your Walkmans, give me your this. Some of the kids I was actually cool with. And I was like, yo, run it. Everybody, run it. I couldn't even carry it. Some of the guys I robbed had to help me carry the stuff.
Cause somebody need to make an animation of that. That's crazy story.
With him. Terrible.
Now, of course, there's really no way to confirm this crazy story by Fat Joe. It's just like a list of other things and other stories that Fat Joe has told. It just don't sound believable.
Because I did a list, Fat Joe's top 5 biggest lies. One of the biggest lies was that he said he robbed a whole gym. a Bronx school gym. The Bronx. I saw Fat Joe when he was younger. He was a fat kid. Now, knowing how gyms are at recess in school, at any given moment, there's gonna be between 70 to 150 kids in there at one time, right? He said he robbed 70 kids by himself at no weapon.
Comedy.
But Big U couldn't whoop 30 people at once. He didn't whoop them. He whooped them and robbed them and made them help him take their goods, not even to his car. He didn't even have a car. He was to his locker. He got that off that Biggie song. Now they buy me milks at lunch and butter crunch.
Along with the internet, has its own way of showing this.
What were you like in high school?
Terrible. The biggest bully. I once robbed my whole gym. The whole gym. Seventy kids without a gun. Like, yo, everybody give me your coats, give me your Walkmans, give me your this. Some of the kids I was actually cool with. And I was like, yo, run it. Everybody, run it. I couldn't even carry it. Some of the guys I robbed had to help me carry this stuff with them. Terrible.
Hey, Fat Joe, can you tell us a story? So this one time I'm in the Bronx, and I got like 10,000 guys with me. Some very serious guys. And at the time, I'm already Fat Joe the rapper, and I'm walking around with some of the most gangsterous guys in New York City history. And I know the internet is gonna say Fat Joe, he's a liar, he's a capper, but I've been around. So we in the Bronx and we walking down the street, and we see this group of people by this bodega. And it's like, it's mad people at this bodega, and there's this one guy in the middle. So the guys I'm with, they flock over to the crowd, and I'm trying to see what's going on, because the people in the crowd, they weren't happy of what this guy was doing. They were exuberant. So as I approach, I see this guy, he has on like some Air Jesus Jerusalem Jordan flip-flops. I don't know what it was, but it was fly.
Now, this story wouldn't be complete if Fat Joe lies would be so extended that he would even lie on himself. In an interview, Fat Joe would go on to state that he is nothing like his verses, that he lies in 95% of his stories.
I've been rapping professionally for 30 years. I've lied in almost 95% of my songs. Being not lied.
Like how? What do you
just
mean?
go. I write like I feel that day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being creative. You know, if you could probably you couldn't build the jail high enough for the lyrics I've said on songs, which are all untrue. What I am is a family man, the person who gives back to my community all the time, open businesses in my community. So the music would never amount to the actual person, Joseph Cartagena.
The backlash was so plentiful that he would go on IG to attempt to reconstruct this statement.
So when I get up in there and I say, yo, 95% of the stuff I say ain't true, letting them know. Like, if you could think Rico Love is on here is one of the greatest songwriters ever made. You know, the album that Usher sold 10 million, everything, Rico Love wrote that. There's no way Rico could tell me every word was real, because it's not. We move off of inspiration. And so we get inspired, and then one day I'll go to the studio, I'm mad. So I write some fuck the police. One day I'm happy with the family, I go in the studio and I write about love and peace and tranquility. And then I write some gangster shit. You know, what I'm explaining to you, putting myself on CNN on the hot seat for hip-hop culture and hip-hop music. And I had to say 95% of what I say is a lie so that they could understand that it's unfair to try some kids for the rest of their life.
Now I know we've all heard the term of the energy that you put out there, the universe will take that and put it back on you.
Rapper Fat Joe has been hit with an explosive $20 million lawsuit for allegedly coercing his ex-hype man into thousands of sexual acts. In a graphic 157-page lawsuit, Terrence T.A. Dixon accuses Fat Joe, whose legal name is Joseph Cartagena, of more than a decade of abuse.
A former member of Fat Joe's entourage would file a claim stating that Fat Joe has a history of Diddy-like moves.
The details so disturbing that there's a big trigger warning in the red on the first page of that filing. Dixon alleges that in the lawsuit, Cartagena forced him to, quote, humiliating situations, including sex acts, performed under duress and surveillance. Dixon claims he personally witnessed Cartagena engage in sexual relations with girls as young as one of whom Cartagena was allegedly in love with and contemplated leaving his wife for. An attorney for Cartagena says the lawsuit is a blatant act of retaliation.
So I'm going to read through a few of the pages from this Fat Joe lawsuit that was brought forth by his former hype man by the name of Terrence Dixon. Defendant Fat Joe's control over plaintiff extended far beyond mere financial exploitation or denial of credit. Over 16 years, defendant cultivated a deliberate environment of psychological manipulation, intimidation, and persistent threats to ensure plaintiffs' continued submission, silence, and loyalty despite ongoing abuse, exploitation, and humiliation. The defendant employed persistent verbal abuse, threats of physical violence, erratic and insufficient payment, manipulative control over travel and accommodations. Plaintiff was routinely coerced into engaging in sexual acts with women, specifically brought by defendant Fat Joe to hotel rooms and private gatherings following performances and studio events. Defendant Fat Joe frequently arranged and orchestrated these encounters, intentionally creating scenarios. Defendant Fat Joe regularly monitored these encounters closely, frequently remaining in the room to watch, record, or provide explicit direction and commands.
Even if you may question this claim of Fat Joe's antics, one thing that's undeniable is this is just another scratch on the legacy of hip-hop's most prominent Spanish gangster rapper, who more than likely will be remembered as one of the biggest fibbers in an industry that once thrived on authenticity, giving himself the title of hip-hop's Latino. Thank you for watching, and if you like this documentary, you'll like my other documentaries like the one I did on Big U, and I got another one that I did on Snoop Dogg, the king of fence sitting. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxie Approved, right? With that water. I see y'all here next time on Moxie Approved.
First and foremost, love lasts. Everybody hollering about money over bitches, but I'm suspicious. These niggas act funny over bitches. Switch up, turn it back on the homeboys quick. All the time she just wait to suck the homeboys dick. She sneaky as hell, freaky as well. Trying to give up that tail the first week he in jail. He don't realize the female he trustin' is trouble. Ain't no sense in spotting no bust in this bubble. I'ma let him do him and just do what I do. He still stay even if he knew what I knew. The less they see you, the more they miss you. Then they start to hate you, so they diss you. They wish you the worst and you don't understand. Cause most times you don't even know they issue. As if you even really know they exist. Ain't never been close even though they insist.
Look what this shit done did to me. Love don't make it no more. Nigga, show me the cheese. Loyalty over love. My money's all that I need. Love don't live in no more. And that's how it's gonna be.
I'm the hitman they call when the boss pissed off. All I got in this world is my word and my balls. Y'all better watch the words in your balls, cause we respond with bullets, put bullet holes all in your car. I'm in the green Escalade with the Baymax plaque. SBI got our laid back cracking. White tee round my head like the Arabs have them. Come through with the same guns the Arabs grabbing. I heard your mixtape. Fuck that, I ain't letting that shit ride. We gon' hop out and shoot everybody that's outside. Certain niggas get back to the block and get high. This shit ain't that hard, we done did it before. I'm on tour selling shirts that I already won. I ain't gotta go to Iraq, it's already won. Fuck love, we put loyalty first. The bitch boy in the hearse over some shit in his verse. Loyalty over love. Look what this shit done did to me. Love don't make it no more. Nigga, show me the cheese.
What up, Damu? Give it up. Smurf. Yeah. Murph dog. You know what I'm saying? Represent. Keep it real, y'all. I brought you back around there. What up, Murph dog? Oh, they can come back. Swallow thing. You heard me? Swallow. I got one thing out here. Liberty. Who told you? Her name is Olivia. Western Crip. Hero. Yeah. I got another one. Yeah. His name is Smurf. You heard me? Smurf.
Yeah, they rolling hard too. They slanging real good.
Might have to drop a dime on them niggas.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta stop.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
Yeah, neighborhood nip bustin'. Giving a shout out right now to SPR in the streets. My niggas spot low, y'all already know what it is. Schwarzenegger. It's neighborhood nip hustling. Big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.